Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, day number 40 inside of the 99 Days of Christmas. What are we going to do day 40? Because you think that it's, just the day before 41, which is legendary, and then after 39, which was summarily amazing. Day 40 is going to be a flagship day because we are going to step towards a new destiny via comedic routines. Yes, stepping towards a new destiny via this comedy routine that stands alone. Not stand up, stands alone. We are going to do book club in a nightclub. Why? Because January is after Christmas. And people have January blahs because, I wish that Christmas were 12 months of the year, right? Whereas we get to experience Christmas now via book club. Yes, the dead tree that was cut up and made into something printed so that way we can say hi to random awesome people that we have not yet met by being open to strangers because we're doing book club. Grounding ourselves in the definition of book club. What is book club? Book club is, you're right, cowboy hat, better, happy. Book club is where we bring the books to the front lines of apathy, to the general population that doesn't exactly voraciously read. Book club. It's where we use a book like the hot girl eating dinner alone has a book in her hand. She's not quite saying, come talk to me, but she's also saying, I'm alone. I have a book with me, sipping a glass of wine, maybe eating eventually a salad in a bar. Book club. So we are, in essence, doing book club via a pop up. And the pop up goes like this: two people, two copies of the same book. So, book club on Saturday night is going to be three people and three copies of the same book. Now, will all three people have read it cover to cover? Maybe. But we'll definitely focus the book club on 3 pages. Let's set our expectations at 2 pages. So, what we're doing with book club is we're peacocking, but we're not peacocking the way that pickup artists peacock. We're peacocking in a way that pickup artists will eventually be networking. This is why. When 3 people have the same book and it's in a busy bar or restaurant, people are going to cold open us. People are going to come up to us without an introduction because they're wanting to wedge in. It's like bringing a puppy to a bar where we're now able to command positive attention. And what's the first thing you need to talk about? The first thing you need to talk about is the first thing you need to talk about is the first thing you need to talk about is the contents within the book to a person who has not yet read the book. The initial salvo is to ask, what is that book about? How can that book be applied to me? What we're going to do is we're going to actually sell this book. And by having the book, we're turning YouTube Live into that Gary V constant selling, insta selling, where we're selling books like Gary V talks about in 15-second increments. That's the live stream where you take a book or shopping and then you pitch the shopping item for a minute, and then that's the live stream. It's live stream shopping. Going from 0 to 2 pages is getting us off of 0. In the same way that the best content for this video was slightly before the sun rose, because when the lighting hits the video, then people are like, oh my gosh, there's actually content inside of the video that has Easter eggs. That has Easter eggs. That has Easter eggs, which it's an annual event and Easter's coming. These are the Easter eggs that you get now. Going from 0 to 2 pages read inside of book 1 is 4 steps to the Epiphany. Book 2 is going to be a chick book, which is Breaking the Habit of Being You by Joe Dispenza. And then book 3 is not a hardcore business book, but it is Robert Cialdini Influence. And that's the 3 books going from 0 to 2 landing pages, where we're taking a franchise, Day 40, 99 Days of Christmas, and tying it into the unofficial 23 days of OpenAI, combined with us doing 2 landing pages. 0 to 2 videos, where if currently we have no videos, we will do our first video. And that's just a 15-second clip of OpenAI. That's just a 15-second clip of blah, blah, blah. Two pages, book club summarized before Saturday the 18th. This is book club, which is page 37, page 65. Those are the 2 pages. Page 37, find your customers and prospects and stand in front of them. Page 65, business conferences, networking, and winning at entrepreneurship via page 65 of 4 Steps to the Epiphany. Day 40 of the 99 Days of Christmas is a flagship standalone day that we get to enjoy because of proper planning. And when we plan things out, magical things happen. What's the plan for this video? It's book club at a nightclub. Today is Friday. We are doing book club in a Austin nightclub on Saturday, January 18th. When I say book club, now you're thinking, is this a boring book club where 10 to 25 people meet up and 80% of the people read zero, right? Nope. It's not going to be a boring, crappy one. It's going to be one where we get to meet super attractive women that throw themselves on us because we're carrying a book. 3 dudes, 3 copies of 1 book at a nightclub. Book club at a nightclub. Cost 0. Actually, the cost is negative because we're going to be getting free drink and free food while people try to steal our book, people try to buy our book, and people are definitely going to be asking some questions. This is the scout report for what might happen, what is likely to be asked of us, while also amiably ambushing people that are going to be trying to enter our fallopian tube of book club triumvirate, which is 3 dudes trying to box out females that are trying to insert their lady boner into our non-sexual book club. We are going to go from 0 to 2 pages because 1 or 2 of the guys or 3 of the guys will not have read the book cover to cover. No judgments. Reading 2 pages, which this is what to expect. People are going to see the cover and they're going to ask a question. That question is answered via 2 pages, page 65 or page 37. This is how an interaction might go. Hey, what are you nerds doing with books? Or, hey, what's going on here? What's going on here? What's going on here is we're doing book club. Book club? Why wouldn't you do that at the library? When was the last time you were at the library? Porcupining while winning a interaction via the cold open and being receptive to cold open, which is Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, Hot Girl Sales Club, dare I say, Hot Guy Book Club. Oh, is that like a sequel franchise like the unofficial 23 Days of OpenAI? Ooh, sounds delicious. Sounds like it's top 10 tips for comedians to learn as far as business skills. Moving right along with book club is book club book. 4 steps to the epiphany. 4 steps to the epiphany, which is specifically page 37. Which is the customer development cycle, where we get to win at entrepreneurship because we interact with the consumer. And the user is oftentimes neglected, which is why companies tend to skip the critical step of talking to prospects and talking to prospective users and talking to existing users. 99% of businesses' problems are those 2 pages, because the other page is page 65, which is can you talk to users at a business conference that is set up within a specific industry? Oh, is this why we're doing the API application protocol connection from Art Basel to South by Comedy to this book club? Yes. Business skill right out of the business skill bullet pointed Larry Chang Prizo. OpenAI in 12 days of OpenAI in December. South by Southwest. Unofficial 23 days of OpenAI at book club on January 18th. So do you see how these days weave together in a genius way where you're taking the void and you're not screaming into it. You're grabbing morsels of nothing, which is us. We used to be nothing. You might still be nothing, but now you've got book club, and then now you've got me as a friend. Maybe I'm not a friend. I'm definitely not your mentor, but sky's the limit, right? Art Basel, South by Comedy, business skills for comedians. 12 days of OpenAI, South by unofficial 23 days of OpenAI. Pre-roll, win. Prepare, prep, now you're prepared. What most people do at a conference that they got a comp badge to is they DEI'd their way to a free ticket and then just kind of showed up, not thinking that they had to compete against Caucasian males who hosted a book club on January 18th, offered free resources to the I, the E, and the D by stripping away the barriers to succeeding. Yet, who participated most in book club? You. You with Wi-Fi. Congratulations. You found Larry Chang, the most significant person on the internet when it comes to getting you off of zero. It's not trash talk. I've been told I have a very nice profile. That's why I was showcasing it. It's not trash talk. It's specific talk that reveals proof of work, because it's not competence that you're impressed at. It's not competence. What is it? It is preparing to win page 65. Page 65. It's preparing to win by Art Basel. That's in December. We're winning Art Basel in March. 12 days of OpenAI. 23 days just rolls off the tongue now. 12 days of OpenAI happens in December. We can DJ it back to March 10 while DJing it forward to February 6th in Santa Clara for the unofficial 23 days of OpenAI, day number X, which is February 6th, which is the Super Bowl in Santa Clara, with the 49ers playing in the Super Bowl. While winning because we pressed forward on that. Good morning. The Easter eggs were in the live stream prior because YouTube Live for the thumbnail, it was dark. And because these are sunrise videos, I Easter egged the awesome videos, awesome content prior. But because we are now hanging out, we are going to do a full recap. Oh my God, did you get demoralized? That's awesome. Good morning. Good morning. So, book club at a nightclub. This is for heterosexual men to get women who are semi heterosexual to throw themselves at us. Later, you, but initially us, because we're the ones who are going to be executing book club at a nightclub. 3 dudes, all 3 of us are going to be using the same book. Book club at a nightclub. 3 dudes, 3 books, magic. We are going to change our weekend for no money. We're not going to buy a alcohol booze table and then have women come to our table. We are not doing that. What we are doing is setting up shop with 3 people, 3 books. Book club at a nightclub, what is it? It's legal to bring in books into a nightclub. We are taking these books where all of us have the same book, and then we entertain questions from females that are like, what is this? Or questions from females that are like, hey, I read that book. I'm in Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, and that book was amazing. That's what we're doing, is we're ambushing females. Think of this as a nature video where it's the narrator that's like, there are 3 males. These are 3 young males, and they're enticing the females, not with dance, but with printed material sitting on their bar. Notice that the 3 males, they all have the same book. Here we see the female circling, hunting the prey of these males. Notice the female now walking in while all the other females are watching, curious as to why there are 3 men with 3 books in a nightclub at this watering hole. Now, these males, they're looking to mate, and when the mating process is, the trap is set, notice how many females will be coming over and throwing vagina their way. Here, we notice one with large breasts and a lot of confidence attacking the larger of the 3 males. Hey, you! The fuck are you doing with books, you nerd? And then the male, he sits unperturbed and confident and ignores the large-breasted woman who is older than 22 and younger than 23. Hey, I'm talking to you, little boy. What's with your cowboy hat? Notice the female, she's attacking his looks now by being the alpha male of the group, even though she is without penis. Now notice the focus that the 3 males have on 2 pages, because it turns out the 3 males have only read 2 pages of the book, page 37 and page 65. Because every question that's ever asked of these people, it's answered on 2 pages. You like that for a a National Geographic special for how are heterosexual people in the United States mating, right? How are they mating? Not very efficiently, but that's okay. Okay, I realize that your city is a no fuck zone. No problem. No sexing. I understand that. I don't understand it. But what I do get is putty. And what am I willing to do on Saturday night? I'm willing to not bang putty until 11:35 p.m. When is book club start? Book club starts at 5:55 p.m. Oh, I'm on the internet and I want to do some of this awesome stuff that you guys do. Great. This is how to paste copy it. First of all, what is book club? Book club is three people with three copies of the same book sitting in a bar talking about their book. That's as easy as it is. I do book club for 6 hours because I want enough Insta DM and Snap usernames and cell phone numbers to last the entire winter. But for you, maybe one is enough because you're one and done. And that's okay. Book club. We set a book on a table, and then females will literally fling themselves on us. That's not politically incorrect to say because it's socio socially partyfully accurate to say. Do you want to read the book or just get the benefit of standing next to a person who read the book? Do we want to be the host of the book club, the predator who's actually getting preyed on? Because what's going on with meeting people that don't know you? There's a risk in talking to people that we don't know. Is there any risk where women ask us questions because they want to get to know us? Less risk. And that's where book club is the socially engineered awesome optimization where we are hosting a book club. Let's go into some things of what to pay attention to and what to expect when it comes to witnessing book club. One, three people or two people, two copies of the same book. An advanced strategy is you can do one person, two copies of the book. We can talk about the advanced one later, but let's go over a basic iteration so that way the first repetition that we do for book club turns out to be successful beyond what you would ever expect a book club to be. What is an old book club? An old book club is 5 to 15 people meeting up. Nobody read the book, or at least half the people did not read the book. And this is why Sunrise Videos, as far as day 40 of the 99 Days of Christmas, is a Christmas gift to you, which is book club. It is so obnoxious to have a book at a bar, not to mention having two guy friends with the same book. It's like when you have a New York Times bestseller and you're alone and you're walking with the book in your hand. That's actually cheesy and people just kind of roll their eyes because that's not book club. That's you just showing that you've got a giant wanger and you're just letting it hang out, okay? Or the girl with the boobs that was aggressively pressing into our book club circle. fundamentally and at the core, us having two guy friends with all three of us having the same book, magic happens. This is what to expect as far as questions go, so that way we can pass the test of, oh my God, what are you guys going to be? What are you guys doing? What are you guys able to? What are you guys able to prepare? Because people are going to absolutely test you. Book club. How to ace book club. Good job focusing. These are the questions so that way you can win the test. It's not even cheating because it's part of PQRST, which is guessing the questions. Here, maybe you don't want to guess the questions, so I'm going to just give you the questions that people ask because this is not my first book club. Today is the 17th. We're doing book club in a nightclub on the 18th on Saturday. We're running it from 5:55 to 11:35. 5:55 p.m. to 11:35 p.m. Three venues, questions people ask. What are you guys doing with books? We're reading Steve Blank, Four Steps to the Epiphany. Now, when we say this answer, we don't want to look at the book and then read the author's name off of the book, because then psychologically they're going to be like, you don't know what book you're even discussing. Another cold approach for questions that we answer. What are you guys doing here? Obviously, we're doing book club. What made you come up to say hi? So, the test that we're passing is hot potato because they don't exactly have permission to talk to us. And what if it's non attractive people? Or what if they're too attractive? They could literally blow up book club because then one of us is going to leave with them, and then now our book club is down to two. Is that going to happen? It might happen to those two guys, but I'm in it to lead generation. It's how many phone numbers have you been able to get since the new year started? How many new dates have you gone on? I'm not going to be selling a book on dating. I'm going to be promoting a book club of existing books that are business books that we read in public, that we then get talked to versus us having to risk cold opening. Is this a game? Yes. View this as a game where it's not Neil Strauss the game. He's a retard. This is the game on hard mode, but because it's so hard, it's now back to easy mode. Because when men talk to women that they don't know, men are risking. Whereas once you are at a certain socioeconomic level, there are fewer and fewer risks moving ahead. This is a method to absolutely eliminate risk for us because it's hilarious because who has ever thought about doing book club? Let's also get into work specifics for how book club and this day 40 of the 99 days of Christmas will be impactful for us. One, we're going to go from 0 to 2 pages read, 2 pages memorized. When we have 2 pages memorized that are key pages, page 65, page 37, we now have a magic trick that we're able to perform. And I'm not talking about cheesy, weird magic that is creepy AF. We're not talking about that. What we're talking about is being able to anticipate questions, looking at a book, reading the book, and then being able to cite specific pages that summarize the book. Going from 0 to 2 pages memorized gives us confidence for when people mention a book. Look at how many times in a business conversation people will bring up the same books over and over. Some people will only read books after they hear it 2, 3, or 7 times. What we're doing via book club is and speed reading is we hear a book that is recommended and then we speed read that book. But let's say speed reading is intimidating and let's say buying a book is too expensive. Being cash flow positive per book. Maybe that's too jargony. Each book being profitable where we benefit per book that we purchase that we now leverage. This is what Naval Ravikant brings up as leverage in his tweet storm, How to Get Rich. So the leverage that I added was comedy, because how hilarious is it for 3 dudes with 3 books? This is not 2 girls, 1 cup. This is 3 guys, 3 books, and 40 women. This is a arbitrage. This is a temporary advantage. Why? Just like the YouTube algorithm of you guys watch this video, clip 15 seconds of this video into your video, now you've gone from 0 to 2 videos. Whereas currently you might be a YouTube watcher, but not a content maker. You might be a movie watcher, but you're not a filmmaker. And so initially, maybe just cut a 15-second snippet of the best 5 videos that you've watched on YouTube, or the 5 videos that caused you to take action. And now you're saying Merry Christmas to yourself in the future because you spent time, less than 8 minutes, editing 3 videos. How exactly do you do this? Underneath my chin is a remix button. Remix, REMIX. Because in the same way that we're remixing and changing book club, you can remix a video by clicking the remix button and then going to green screen. And then when you go to green screen, then you slide scale with your index finger which 15 seconds you want to clip. What you've now done is you've improved your everything. You've improved your social media presence. You've gone from 0 videos to 2 videos. You also improve the algorithm of what YouTube gives you because now you're a content maker that YouTube is actually desperate for. Whereas viewership, yeah, they care, but it's viewership. What is critical is content, which is why you think that you're all alone and there's a vacuum. you're not actually in a vacuum or a void. It's just there's an emptiness right now, not between your ears, or maybe between your ears, but you feel that emptiness, which leads to depression because you're feeling empty inside. Whereas why don't we, with temporarily feelings of ineptitude, take steps towards a new destiny? Day one of the 99 days of Christmas. Proof of work, or not even 5 hours of work. I'm talking about less than 8 minutes to clip one 15-second right underneath the remix, right underneath my chin, the remix button. And do you see how excited I am for you in your choose your own adventure life, going from non-player character in observing of other people, hoping that this Chinese cowboy is going to somehow say another new thing, whereas this could be the third time that you've heard it, or maybe the first time that you've heard it, and you're like, we could maybe do book club over YouTube, because you can join the 4 Steps to the Epiphany book club by clipping that as a 15-second clip, and then hilarious page 37, hilarious page 65, because those 2 pages and the other pages, but those 2 pages answer a lot of people's initial questions. Are you guys drinking enough water? Comment water. Comment water. Comment cute if you think that this trade show stuffy is cute. Look at him. Look at him, his cute little wiggle. What a cute little muffin. What a cute little muffin. Met him at a trade show. Is that page 65 of 4 Steps to the Epiphany? Yes, coincidentally it is. Coincidentally it is. What do you guys think of sunrise videos, where initially the Easter eggs are buried in the dark, and then the sun comes up, and then the lighting changes? What books do you or your parents own that you have not yet read? Book club and a nightclub. Engineering 145, which is specifically $0 to 0.6. Engineering 145, technology entrepreneurship, where we as participants in a book club now also read the syllabus for a class, technology entrepreneurship. I'm not saying go be a entrepreneur and start a business. I'm talking about practicing entrepreneurship. I'm talking about being incredibly resourceful with no money and not a lot of a budget to go out on Saturday night, which is book club. What if you could rent a book from this place? Let's call it a biblioteca. Maybe in your language it's called the library, where we borrow a book and then we journey into a nightclub with 2 people carrying 2 copies of the same book. And then when women throw themselves on us, we ask, hey, before we continue this conversation, which has been interesting, will you buy us alcohol? Will you buy us food? By hinting at it. By hinting at it. Blatantly asking is hilarious, but during the third question that they ask us while we're in book club, which will be, you know what? All these questions, they're kind of making me hungry. Are you guys hungry? Do you guys have an open tab? It would be great if you could order some mozzarella sticks for our table. They don't get to just squat on our table because we squatted there first. In a nightclub, possession is 9/10. Did this bridge over to a Harvard Law School talk? Yes, actually, because we can do a sequel. We can do a a a prequel sequel to a future book that ties into the APIs of unofficial 23 days of OpenAI, or and the 99 days of Christmas, or and the 4 steps to the Epiphany. The sequel to that is the fifth Epiphany, what Mr. Peabody would teach us about crossing the innovation chasm.